It's been a while since my last video. I enjoyed the holidays, took a vacation, and recharged my batteries. And all of a sudden, it's 2025. So I decided to head to Yosemite. After getting out of Portland traffic and through the mountain passes, I ended up in California. Yosemite Valley is one of the most breathtaking places I've ever seen. The sheer granite walls rise up to unbelievable heights, and one of the tallest waterfalls in the world drops over 2,300 feet to the valley floor. And winter is a great time to visit this amazing park. Crowds are low, campgrounds available, and waterfalls are flowing. Compare that to the summer months when the crowds are overwhelming, campgrounds and lodging are packed, and waterfalls have either dried up or their flows dwindled to a trickle. Plus, I'm hoping for some snow in the valley while I'm there. Good morning from Yosemite. It's cold this morning. It's like 18, clear skies. And when you're in the valley, there's not a lot of sunrise spots because the valley is so deep. It takes a while for that sun to come up. Otherwise, everything is just dark. And for any light to get into the valley, to give you any kind of light, takes a little bit of time. So I didn't have to get up too early. This morning, hiking up to Vernal Falls. The mist trail, which is the lower trail, is closed in the wintertime because it's just a big sheet of ice and you will die. So they close that in the winter. Just take the upper trail up to, there's a viewpoint that's pretty nice. So anyway, I'm gonna hike up there, see what we can see. Hopefully get a shot this morning and then head back. It's about 5 miles round trip. Clark Point, finally. Lots of switchbacks. This is 5,400 feet of elevation, I do believe, somewhere around that. Lots of pretty shots to come away with, I think. We got some nice clouds. I love the side light hitting this with this side of it in shadow, and then the waterfall. And then down in here, the light is just lighting up the trail down in here just a little bit. And so the photographs are going to come out somewhere around here. I just didn't bring a tripod because I was thinking that my shutter speeds would be fast enough I could just handhold, which I can. I do want a little bit of a shorter shutter speed, about a 40th of a second for that waterfall because it's such a lot and it's coming down. I don't want it to become a stream because all of that ice on either side of it is going to be that. And so I want to differentiate between the ice and the actual water flow, those sheets of water. So I'm trying to capture those sheets as well. Well worth the hike, good exercise, great way to start the morning. And if any of these shots come out, I'll show them to you right now.
Uh-oh.
I'm really bad at naming waterfalls. Apologize for just being wrong a lot. But pretty sure this is Yosemite Falls. And this is the tallest waterfall in the United States. It's over 2,300 some odd feet tall. This is the lower portion of it. We can't see the top of it from here, but I'll show you that in a little bit. I'm going to set up, I'm going to get a shot from here, and then we'll keep on going. It's definitely a dilemma. I love the ice and the snow down in there. And obviously the waterfall way back there. Problem is, from this vantage point, I don't really love this tree being right here in the way of the falls. It's not awful, but I'd rather not have it. So the problem is, if I move that way, I lose pretty much all of this, which is really, really nice. I really like that. And then the other thing is, if I go really wide angle, like 16 millimeter, to get this all the way leading up to the falls becomes pretty small in the frame, and then I got a lot of dead space over here. I'm picking up a lot of this. With a wide angle lens, even in a vertical shot, I'm getting this all the way across, and then that waterfall is way, way back there. I think I've played around with this enough, moving back and forth, trying to some different focal lengths. I always shoot a little bit wider than I think I need so that I can always crop, because if I shoot a little too tight, I get home, I'm sad. So I pulled out the 16 to 35 so that I can have a little bit of wiggle room, and moved, like I say, moved a little bit further to the left to move that tree out of the way and try to keep that ice flow in the foreground kind of predominant without being waterfall too small. So I took a bunch of different shots because I wanted to just be able to see it and pick out the best one on the computer. And if the shot comes out, I'll show it to you right now. This is pretty much one of the most iconic photographs of Yosemite Falls, because you can put the upper and the lower tiers together almost. But you can see it all in one shot. It's absolutely amazing. You can hear the roar of the falls from here, and you can see just how far those falls on the top tier have to come, and it just turns into these sheets as they make their way down. That is just amazing. So to get this shot, I'm going to have to definitely bracket. The top of those waterfalls is getting hit by the sun, and it's going to totally blow it out. Those small details matter. And even though the bottom of the falls is not in sun and it's getting some light, some reflected light, I can't just focus on that and let that top of that waterfall just go solid white, which is exactly what's happening with the sun beating down on it right now. But if you bracket your shots, you can blend it in Photoshop. I don't know if it would work too well in Lightroom. I might give it a shot. But you have to mask in just that top part of that waterfall where it is so, so, so bright. So I'm going to bracket my shots, pick the ones with the best shutter speed, and if the shot comes out, I'll show it to you right now. Well, there is zero chance for photography today. It is raining hard, and it's supposed to rain all day, all night, and hopefully start clearing up tomorrow. So I am in Yosemite Village. We're going to go check out the Ansel Adams gallery. Unfortunately, you couldn't video or take photos inside the gallery. They actually had Ansel Adams' real prints, his stuff, It started at around, I think, $12,000 up to like $25,000 or $30,000. Then they had, reprints, smaller stuff, which was really cool. So I'm probably going to go back and pick up a print before I leave. One of the cheap ones. But it was awesome. Great place. Really, really cool to see his work. But it's, as you can see, it's about all we can do today. Good morning from a wet, slushy Yosemite. Last night it snowed, and it's kind of snowing right now, but it's like a snow/rain. It's pretty foggy this morning. Wanted to get out before the snow started to melt. It's supposed to warm up quite a bit today, and it's all supposed to stop. So I was hoping to find some places where the the snow was still coating the trees, and I could get some really, really pretty winter photographs. But as you can see behind me and around me, the snow is just, there's nothing sticking on the trees. It's just too warm, or the snow is too wet. One of the two. But it's definitely a lot of snow along the canyon walls, which is really pretty. So that snow up there is gorgeous, but it's a little, I don't mind the fog or the low-hanging clouds. I mean, it does provide the separation that you want at times, but it's a little much, because you take a photograph, unless you've got a really compelling subject that you can isolate from all of that stuff in the back, then it's just a foggy photograph, and it's not great. So I'm going to keep looking while I drive around a little bit this morning. The roads aren't bad; they're just got slush on them, and see if I can't find something that I can put together and make a good photograph before all the snow goes. Drove to the other end of the valley, and there's no snow at all. At the other end, it's just rain, and there's no snow on the ground whatsoever. So it's really weird that it's just concentrated at one end of the valley towards Curry Village. Still looking. It's a struggle this morning, but where the snow's coming down, it's really pretty. So there's got to be some kind of a photo, and I just got to find it. Love this Yosemite chapel. It was snowing a lot heavier when I was shooting just a few seconds ago, and there's still some snow around on the trees. Just a really pretty scene. I think it's not a portfolio image or anything, but it's a pretty photograph, and at least I've got one to get started today, and that's usually enough to get things going. So if this photo comes out at all, I'll show it to you right now. This morning was a total bust. Couldn't even see the sides of the valley. There was just so many clouds. And now it's several hours later, and it's just starting to break. And the sun's starting to peek through little bitty patches of blue. And that is the atmosphere that I want when I've got a winter scene. Unfortunately, 95% of all the snow that's on all the trees and on the ground is all gone. It's already melted. Never lasts too long. But I found this scene behind me, and I think at about 100 millimeters or so, it's a pretty photograph. I took the shot handheld, but pretty much what you're seeing here is what I grabbed. F8, ISO 100, and wherever the shutter speed, about 100th of a second, 120th of a second, and I was able to capture those huge sheets of the water from Yosemite Falls, and I love the clouds coming off the top of it as well in the snow. The diagonal band of snow coming across the frame from the top right to the bottom left. I think this is going to be a beautiful photograph, so I'm going to show it to you right now. Good morning. Last day in Yosemite. Went up to an overlook and got a quick shot of Half Dome with a long lens. I didn't vlog anything, but the shot came out pretty good. If it did, I'll show it to you in just a second. And I also stopped, found a waterfall on the side of the road. Got a shot of that real quick. All these were very, very fast. So if any or all of those shots come out, I'll show those to you right now. This morning decided to hike up to Mirror Lake. It's not really much of a hike. You're hiking on a paved road like 95% of the way. Since this is my last day, and once I find a shot, I will definitely share it with you. I think I found my first shot, and it's not half dome, but it works really, really well with what I've got. I'm able to do. The water level is kind of low. I'm going to walk around a little bit more, and hopefully I can find an area that I can get half dome with a reflection. But this works pretty well. So, number one, no polarizer. The lower you get, the longer that reflection is. Let me show you how the reflection changes as you change the elevation of your camera. So hopefully it's going to be evident on this Osmo Pocket versus my camera. But you can see it's a beautiful reflection in the water right there. And as I stand up and get higher, I don't get as much reflection. It's not as long. It's shorter from here to here. And when I get really, really, really low down here, and it's a lot, it takes up more space in the frame. Big thing is you have to play with it. You want to just use your phone or your camera or whatever you have before you set up your tripod to see what level that you need in order to get the most reflection in your frame that you want. So I'm going to get this shot, and if it comes out, I'll show it to you right now. Some of you are probably wondering, didn't he take any tunnel view photographs? Yes, I did go to tunnel view, and yes, I took many photos over several days. Before I show you my image, I wanted to show you one of my favorite Ansel Adams photographs and the one that I purchased at the gallery while I was there. This is Yosemite Valley thunderstorm, taken in 1949. I tried to channel my inner Ansel Adams on my version, so I obviously did it in black and white. Here's my favorite photograph from my trip to Yosemite. I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.